Hello, everyone. My name is Alexander Lucard, and I am an HMIS system administrator for Montgomery County. In today's training, we're going to look at the 4 changes that occurred to your ServicePoint program, or HMIS, on October 5th, 2021. 2 of the changes are minor. 2 of the changes are a little bit bigger, but all 4 hit the system on October 5th. We did send out an email and put a blast in the HMIS news section of ServicePoint. But just in case you missed one or both of those, we're doing a video training as well to help you guys out. We're going to look at all 4 of the areas and just show you the changes. Again, the changes are made to race, ethnicity, gender, and disabilities. Now, let's start off with the race change. And this is a pretty minor one. It's just a slight verbal change. For example, American Indian is now American Indian, Alaska Native, or Indigenous. They just added Indigenous to this. Asian, they've changed to Asian or Asian American, and African American or Black, they've changed to Black, African American, or African. So it's a very minor change to this category, but it's still a change, and we're just letting you know about it. This doesn't affect any reports so far that we've found. It doesn't affect anything. It's just a slight verbal change. Shouldn't bother any of your case managers at all. The next is ethnicity. Again, this is a minor verbal change. Instead of Hispanic, Latino, or non-Hispanic, non-Latino, they've now added the option for Latina, Latino, or Latinx. So you have all 3 of them in there just to be a little more inclusive. Again, this does not change anything in the system. It's just to be a little more inclusive. As you can see there, they are. Now, we're going to get into the 2 big changes. Gender is probably the biggest of the changes that affects you directly, no matter what type of user you are. Instead of a drop-down pick list like it used to be, we now have a list here that is not a drop-down menu. You see that? You see how everything is here in one screen? You can't change it or move it. Now, 3 old genders are gone, replaced by 3 new ones. We used to have transgender male to female and transgender male to female to male, and we used to have non-binary. Those 3 are gone. Replacing them are a gender other than singularly female or male, non-binary, gender fluid, a gender culturally specific gender. This can also include being a eunuch or being hermaphroditic. So this is kind of a good catch-all category for that doesn't fit into the core 2 main genders we have listed above. We've also got transgender. And instead of saying male to female or female to male, it's a little less revealing, a little less pointed, which is good. You can just say transgender. And then we have questioning, which means you're questioning. And as well, because it's not a drop-down menu anymore, you can actually pick more than one. So for example, maybe you're male and questioning. You hold the control button down, and there you go. You've got male and questioning. And you can hit save, and it will take both. And maybe you want to be transgender, but you want to say you're male, or you're transgender and you want to say you're female. It's not revealing what your first gender was. It's not revealing what your current gender is. You can do it either way. It's whatever makes the transgender client feel more comfortable and, again, included. So if we say transgender male, it's not saying, hey, they were originally male. It's not saying they're currently male. It's just saying that they identify as transgender and they identify as male, which probably is their current gender, but just in case, because they might be going through transition, they might still be referring to themselves as male as they complete the process. So this lets you have both. So this is really a way to be more inclusive and less pointed about the gender discussion. So again, if you want just one, like here, it's highlighted. If you want multiple, you hold the control button down and you get both. And you just hit save and exit and it would save it. Now, if you do not see anything highlighted on one of your previous clients, it might mean that you accidentally clicked the clear all button. If you see clear all, you can see that we're not identifying with any gender option. And because it's not a starred category anymore, it will not force you to make a choice before you hit save. So you can see an asterisk generally implies that this is a required field, but the asterisk is missing here from gender now. So you just have to be really close and paying attention that you don't accidentally click the clear all button, and that you make sure that one of these is highlighted. Whatever you highlight will be the gender. And it will save your previous choices from before 10.5. So we can see here this client was done in 8.4. It will be in the history category. So it's okay. This is really only going to affect your transgender or non-binary clients, a question so you had those in the past. So just go through and fix their gender in here. Shouldn't affect too many, but it will affect some. So if you do notice in a report that they're missing their gender status now and they had it before October 5th, it's probably because they identified as transgender. And you can just go in and fix it. Now for the big one. Disabilities. It doesn't look very big on the surface, but it has completely wrecked the data completion 0252 report. So that's why we want to pay a little bit of attention to this. If you do run the 0252 data completion report in ART, it will say that you have absolutely no correct answers in disabilities for any of your clients. And that's going to give you a heart attack, but it's a mistake in the report. It is a bug in the report. It is not a bug in your data quality. So remember, let's go take a look at our current disability. Let's look at the HUD verification matrix. Here are your 8 options. Now what's changed is they've added the word disorder to 4 of the categories. Alcohol abuse is now alcohol abuse disorder. Both drug and alcohol is now alcohol and drug abuse disorder. Drug use is now drug use disorder, and mental health is now mental health disorder. However, ART being ART is very, very strict and specific. So the ART is still looking for the old versions of these questions. So it is looking for alcohol abuse, not alcohol abuse disorder. It is looking for mental health, not mental health disorder. And that addition of a single word has broken the report because it is looking specifically for alcohol abuse. And now the only thing that exists is alcohol abuse disorder. So if you run that data completion report, you're going to get no correct answers. Don't worry about it. You have not done anything wrong. Your staff has not done anything wrong. It is a bug in the report. We have already put in a request to get this report fixed in ART, and we just have to wait for WellSky to fix it. So don't freak out. You haven't done anything wrong. It's just the name change here has totally freaked out ART. And we just have to wait for that ticket to get fixed by WellSky. So until then, you can just ignore the disabilities section of the 0252 data completion report. We're sorry about this. We didn't expect that. I don't think WellSky expected it. It's just one of those things with using ART because ART goes way back to 2010. And so the program's a little bit faulty in that regard. But apparently they're going to be updating it later this week. So knock on wood, if you watch this video a little later in the month, the report will be fixed by then. But that's all we have for you today. It's those 4 sections that have been changed. Again, it's race, ethnicity, gender, and disabilities. That's all that's changed here in Montgomery County so far. I might be doing a second video later in the month or in November to cover some of the optional changes that have also been implemented with the October 5th update. We in Montgomery County haven't added any of those yet. However, if the leadership team decides that they do want to implement them, we will have to implement them, and I'll do a second video showing those new changes as well. Thank you for viewing this with me today. I hope this has been really informative and helpful for you to understand the new changes in HMIS. Again, 2 are minor, 2 are major in the fact that you now do gender in a different way, and the fact that disabilities has broken our ART report. But other than that, it's pretty much the same thing as always. You just have to look at those 4 categories. Again, thank you for joining me today. I hope this has been informative, and I look forward to doing more trainings with you in the future. Have a great day.